Good evening.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. Hi Vivian, thanks for joining us. Yes, we're into episode 9 of Hello, I'm an author, Ask Me Anything. And for this evening, it's really my honor to have Patrick Chang, who is the author for the A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning, to be our guest author today. Patrick, you want to say something to our viewers?
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to see all of you here.
Okay, thanks Patrick. Yep, so my name is Kok Hua. I'm the publisher from Candid Creation Publishing. Yep, really happy to see all of you this evening. Hi Shannon, thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to move back to the slides. Okay. Right, hope everyone is faring well into our first week of phase 2. So before we start, just bear in mind if you have any questions on the topic of retirement planning in times of crisis, please post your question in the comment box. Yeah. Bear in mind if you're in a watch party and if you post your comments there, it will not be able to reach us. So please come to the source of the video. Help us to share this video to your wall so that your friends can learn as well on this topic of retirement planning. I think it's very close to the hearts of many people. And help us to like this Facebook video too. Hello Sam, thanks for joining us. Okay, as per all investment sharing, this is a disclaimer. Basically, it means whatever we are sharing is general. It's not unique to your circumstances. So please seek professional advice. Yeah, if you need any financial advice from the professional. Okay. Also, just bear in mind at the end of today's session, there will be a lucky draw. And this lucky draw, there'll be 3 copies of the book, The A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning. Of course, this book is written by our guest author, Patrick Chang. Each of this book is worth $25, and we are giving away 3 copies to lucky viewers who post questions during the live segment. Okay, the lucky draw will only be conducted after the show, and I'll contact you all separately over Facebook message. Okay, so do bear in mind, if you have any questions now on retirement planning in times of crisis, please key your questions in the comment box. So a quick intro to Patrick, who's our guest author for today. So Patrick has got 12 years of practical financial advisory experience. He is a certified financial planner, a chartered financial consultant, and also an associate estate planning practitioner. He has also got an MBA from the University of Adelaide. He has published 4 commentaries on retirement planning on the CNA website, and actually some of these has gone viral with lots of people commenting and sharing on these commentaries. So obviously, it's a very hot topic that we are touching on this evening. Patrick himself has appeared on the media a couple of times. So on radio stations, he has been interviewed on CNA 938, Money FM 893, and also the Chinese station Capital 958. Of course, he is also the author for the book The A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning, which is published by Candid Creation Publishing. What's interesting is that in his book, he shared 26 letters from A to Z to address 26 retirement-related issues. Okay, and he is also a producer of a financial literacy card game. Okay, and the card game is called Affluent, the Wealth Management Game. All right. So let me move back. Yep, I'm receiving comments that there are interference. I'm actually hearing it myself. So what I'm going to do now is going to switch out of my earpiece. I see if it's better. Give me a minute.
Patrick, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I switched off my headset. I don't know if it's due to that, so that's the only thing I can try. Okay. Yep. So if you have any questions on the topic of retirement planning in times of crisis, now is the best time to post your question, and you will qualify for the lucky draw. Okay. So let's see. Oh, there are questions already, Patrick. Okay, let me see. First one is from Sam. Hello, Sam. Thank you so much for supporting us. So take a look, Patrick. Sam's question is in your the A to Z Guide to Financial Planning, which is your book, what are the top three areas we must absolutely have in our retirement plans?
Okay, thank you for your question, Sam. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, the top three areas I think we must absolutely have in our retirement plan. First of all, is that we need to make sure that our medical insurance plan is in place. Because one of the issue that some retirees have medical bills. So this is one area that we must absolutely have it in place as we plan for retirement. Second is the area of proper managing your retirement fund, not to get into unnecessary co- consumption debt, because all this will tends to drain away your resources. So imagine that if you have every month you have excess of say $500. So instead of using that $500 to grow your retirement fund, but instead use it to pay for your um, this debt, such as the credit card debt, then it will actually slow down your process of reaching your retirement goal. So that's the second area. And the third area is that we need to also, while after looking at having good medical insurance, ensuring that we are not in any form of unnecessary consumer debt. The other area is to make wise decision on growing, on investing your retirement fund. Meaning, by looking at your circumstances, your risk profile, your appetite for risk, you build a portfolio, an investment portfolio that can help you to reach your goal as timely as possible, and also to how should I say, and also to make sure that it is flexible, it is liquid, so that in terms of crisis like such, you can actually make the necessary adjustment and making a plan flexible, adaptive to it, while keeping your goals of reaching retirement objective intact. So these are three areas I think is absolutely must have in our plan.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Patrick. So basically, it's about medical insurance. Make sure we are medically covered. Second is to watch your expenses. Yeah, towards our retirement. I guess if you're going to retire and revenue and income is going to stop, then we really got to start watching the expenses. And the
Yep.
third one is, of course, to make sure that your plan is flexible, adaptable, and liquid enough to react to situations like what we are facing right now. Right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yep, if you have just joined us, hi Ming Chun, hi Alan, hi Joe. Yep, we are with Patrick Chang, who is the author for the A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning. And our topic for discussion today is retirement planning in the age of crisis, okay, in times of crisis. So if you have any questions for Patrick, please post them in the comment box and we'll pick from there. Do remember, three of you will walk away with a copy of the book, The A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning. Okay, next, we move on to the next question. Wow, question from Mark Lim. So let's see what Mark's question is. Patrick, should one plan for retirement if one don't plan to retire? All right,
Yes.
no plan to
Yes.
retire.
Okay, this is actually quite a common question that I was asked, and I think the current situation, this COVID situation, has actually give us the opportunity to look at this area of when you have no plan to retire, should you still plan for retirement? I believe there are many who have actually suffer financially because of this COVID situation, suddenly, especially those who are freelancers, suddenly found themselves they are out of jobs in the sense that their assignment has all been cancelled, have been postponed, and their income stream virtually come to a stop. So that means that they actually have to, in a way, so-called being forced to retire. And at this point, they have to scramble to find new ways to adapt to the situation. And if we bring this scenario forward and say that, look, I'm still young, I think I will want to carry on working and have no plan to stop, even though the official retirement age is 62, 65, I'd like to carry on. But what if it is not your choice? It is circumstances that ask you to retire. For example, I can see there are four factors that may get you to be forced retired. One is your age. There will be customers, there will be people who prefer younger people to do the job that you have been doing. Secondly, your physical agility may be affected. A 70-year-old man will definitely not have that kind of physical agility to carry on working as someone who is in his 30, who is in his 40. So that may force you to think about retirement. Then thirdly is um, your your mental health and physical health. The study shows that dementia is going to be the disease of the 21st century. So that brings me to the earlier question that I said about having adequate medical insurance and stuff like that, to plan to make sure, because we won't know will we be the unfortunate one to get into such a situation. And with that, we probably would have to be forced to retirement. And fourth, the knowledge, the experience, the skill set that we have today may not be as relevant 20 years down the road unless we continue to upgrade ourselves, to improve ourselves. Chances are we may be obsolete. So by that time, then when we are forced into retirement, you are actually putting yourself into a very bad situation. So even though you may not have the intention to retire, my suggestion is that there's still no harm planning for it. Plan for it, plan for an eventuality. If everything goes smoothly by that age of 65, 70, if you are able to, you would like to carry on working and not retire, by all means, there's no issue with that. But what if by that time you're not able to carry on? At least now you have made a certain plan for it. So when certain unforeseeable, undesired happening occur, at least you are prepared somewhat. So I would suggest that even though you may not have that plan for retirement, it is better to plan for it, because as you plan, you are actually putting the means and the resources into the plan to make it to build up your resilience for the future. And so, but if you do not plan, then you actually are not building up your capability, you're not building up the means, the resources to help you with retirement down the road. So, so I would strongly suggest that to you, Mark, that planning for retirement is still probably one of the wisest thing that you can do. Yeah.
Right. Thanks for your advice. Yeah, and thanks for highlighting for us the four areas, the four risks of forced retirement. So most of the time you may not plan for them to happen, but again, the future is unpredictable. The only thing you are sure now is this present moment. So thanks for sharing on that. Yeah. Hi Janelle. Hi Casey. Hi Alvin. Hi Ming Chun. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. You're with us right now on Hello, I'm an author. Ask me anything. The topic of discussion this evening is retirement planning in times of crisis. And our guest author is none other than Patrick Chang, the author of the A to Z Guide to Financial Planning. If you have any questions, please post it in the comment box. Let's move on to the next question, Patrick. This comes from, a question from Shannon. Shannon asks, apart from CPF Life, what else would you recommend to create passive income for our retirement?
Okay, there are actually quite several financial assets that we can think of using to create passive income. Of course, financial assets such as investment in shares, investment in REITs, for example, or unit trusts and things like that, they do pay regular dividends, and this can, in a way, help to give you passive income along the way. Then other option would be to um, get yourself into, maybe if you have the interest, to do into certain businesses where they also give a regular passive income along the way. So it actually depends on your risk, and also your risk preference, and your preference to whether that you want to get more involved in creating this passive income at the beginning, or you like something that, okay, I have these resources, financial resources, I'll set aside to help me generate passive income without me having to do a lot. So it depends actually. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So maybe I'll ask the next question, Patrick. So I mean, right now we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. So obviously there's a crisis. Yeah. And of late, of course, we've been seeing stock market going onto roller coaster rides
Yeah.
in the past few months. So, in your opinion, what is the impact on financial planning when such a crisis happens?
What are the impact? Okay, retirement planning is actually a very long-term strategic plan. It is you planning in advance, and usually for many people involve years, and some even decades. So 30, 40 years down the road. So honestly, we can expect this sort of crisis to happen once every few years. In fact, for the past 30 and we do not, let's not stretch the timeline too far away. Just review the past 30, 40 years, and we'll find that every 5 to 10 years we will face with some sort of crisis. At first, we have this oil crisis in the 70s, then we have this in the 80s. I think there is this Black Monday crisis in 87, if I remember correctly. 98, you have the Asia financial crisis. 2003, we have the SARS. 2008, we have the global financial crisis. And then each crisis, we think that that's the end of the world. But but honestly, after that, usually the economy start to pick, or rather the market start to pick up. Everything will move back to normal for a few years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. Another crisis come along. So this current pandemic crisis will not be the last, certainly. Once we get over with this, we can also expect another 5, 10 years. Another form of crisis may hit us, although we would not know what is it now. So the thing is, as far as the um, long-term planning of long-term retirement planning is concerned, it actually should not have much impact on our plan. Of course, for the short term, it's going to derail us somewhat. A recent report that I saw on Straits Times, on I think on the 1st or 2nd of June, said that the saving of the one about 20% of those 1,000 interviewed by in that survey has seen their saving drop by 20%. So in the short term, this thing will happen. That's why you need to have a plan. We need to have a long-term goal to know where we are going. So if such crisis happen, we relook at what we have, and then we make adjustment. That's why I said earlier that it has to be flexible. It has to be um, adjustable, adaptable, so that while we keep our long-term goal in mind, the kind of retirement plan that we have in mind, by as we adjust for short-term variation to what we originally have in mind. So and also that because as we plan, we know that where we are moving, and we also know that because in crisis like such, not all asset classes will see decline in their value. equity value fall, but the value of but other asset class actually went up, such as gold. So by looking at that, such long-term plan will derail our retirement plan for short term. But once this crisis is over, it will start to. I mean, it should not cause too much issue with us over the long term.
Okay, right. So a related question coming from Tak Xiong. Thanks, Tak Xiong, for the question. His question is, so then what is the key difference when we are planning retirement in the crisis versus normal times?
Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, what is the main difference is that, and like what I mentioned earlier, all crises will come and go. It will not stay for a long time. So, because retirement, like what I said, is an advanced planning, it's a long-term planning. When crisis happen, like this one happen, what we need to do is to um, pay more attention, to take a more proactive role in managing our plan. What I'm saying is that we take this opportunity to assess whether the plan that we have made probably a year ago, 5 years ago, is there weaknesses in it? Is there is it realistic to achieve the retirement goal that we have in the plan? If that happen, what we need to do is to so we need to review it more regularly. But if it's during those normal time, then what happens is that we may not need to look at it in such regular fashion. We probably only need to check on it every quarter or every half annually to see that everything is in order, moving according to plan. And then at the same time, diligently implementing what we have planned. But in crisis like such, then it requires us to take a more active role, a more proactive role to analyze again where we can adjust to make it to help us to stay in the plan and not be derailed too far away.
Right. Okay. So this must be a very busy period for you. A lot of people should be taking more active role in relooking at their plan and like what you
Yes.
say, to make adjustments where required. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that. Next, yeah, for those who have just joined us, welcome. We are with Patrick Chang, who is the author for the A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning. And our topic of discussion today is retirement planning in times of crisis. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comment box so that I can invite Patrick to answer them. There's this question from Alan, yeah, but Alan has has actually left because he was being summoned by his kids. But nonetheless, we'll pick this question. So Alan was asking, hi Patrick, one question. For those who are retrenched now, would it be an appropriate time to plan for retirement?
Okay. Thanks, Alan, for the question. Okay. Planning for retirement, I would say that any time is an appropriate time. Whether retrench or no retrench, we still need to plan for it because as I speak, I believe most of us, or probably all of us here, will retire one day. So it is an eventuality. And what I say, whether by choice or by circumstances. So in fact, if a person is retrenched, probably it is the opportune time for him to consider and look at his retirement plan. Does he has a plan? If he has not a plan, why not? Can he work on the plan now? If he already has a plan, like what I mentioned earlier, is there weaknesses in his plan, or is there any area that he can make his plan more workable for him? Of course, we understand that at time like this, financially we are affected, socially we are affected. It may sound like not a right time to do long-term planning like retirement, but it is in fact a, a, a good time to just at least drop out a plan. We may not be able to do it immediately, but once this crisis is over, once you are back on your feet, you can start doing the planning to get yourself prepared and ready in case, or I won't say in case, but you are ready when the next one come along. So, I think that retrench or no retrenchment, we should like it's just like what our government has been saying, that now is a time when we should actually upgrade our skill, get new knowledge, so that when this crisis is over, we are ready to take on the new challenges. Likewise, now is a time when we seriously look at this important long-term plan, this advanced planning in retirement. And once this crisis is ready, we are financially more ready, we can start to implement our plan diligently.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing the analogy. Yeah. So basically, there's no good time or bad time for retirement planning. Yeah. Any time is suitable. And in fact, now
Yeah.
is a good time to actually plan for a recovery. It's just that the time for execution may be at in the
Yes.
future
Yes.
when perhaps this person has found a job or start a business, and then that's when the plan can go into action immediately.
Yes.
Thanks. Yep. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Casey, for joining us. Yep. We are now on the show with Patrick Chang, the author for the A to Z Guide to Retirement Planning. If you have any question, please post them in the comment box so that I can invite Patrick to answer them. Okay. Let's look at the next question, Patrick. Okay, Casey has a question for us. Here you go. Hi, Patrick. Do you think now is a good time to go into REITs?
Um, okay, thanks, Casey, for the question. Okay, is it a good time to go for REITs? Okay, I am okay. Investing in REIT will require us to do some what you call fundamental and technical analysis of the REITs. There are currently, I think, 42 REITs available on SGX. So whether it's a good time to invest in REITs, I think it also depends on what REITs are we talking about. Are we talking about office, retail, hospitality, so or industrial? So I think that I would say it's not a good time to invest in REITs, but before you start investing in REITs, probably you may need to do some analysis of which REITs currently give you a better dividend payout now, and what is the prospect of them improving on their dividend payout over the next quarter, over the next year or so. And we can also another option of investing REITs is to look at other way of investing in REITs, such as the REITs unit trust or the REITs ETF. These are other instruments, because when you invest in REITs, you are probably your 100,000. Let's say you have 100,000, probably you put into five of the REITs. By investing in UT or ETF, you can actually put your REITs into probably all the 42 of them. So it depends on your preference, and also after a proper analysis of the REITs that are their performance today and in the coming months to decide, in the coming months to decide how you want to invest your money into REITs. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So as usual, due diligence.
Yep.
I guess REITs, they all have different performances, especially in times of crisis. Yeah. So if you look at hospitality REITs, for example, which goes into the hotels, you will know whether they'll be able to pay you dividend.
Yep.
Same thing, yeah. Office rates or industrial rates. I think these are different rates that you need to do further study. And like what Patrick say, ETF perhaps is also a way for you to actually diversify if you're interested in REITs itself. Yep. Okay. There are no further questions from our viewers. So maybe let me ask the last question to Patrick. So I think back to the topic of crisis again. Yeah. What would your
Okay.
advice be for people who are ready to retire this year?
Okay. So my advice is very simple. If you are retiring this year and you already have all the means and the resources to retire, then just go for your long deserved retirement. Because you could have been planning this for years, for decades, for today to come. So let not the crisis dampen your retirement mood. But of course, if let's say your retirement fund have been in a way hit by the crisis, then you may want to ask yourself two questions. First is that, is it okay for me to postpone my retirement by another 1 to 2 years, or even 3, 4 years down the road? Do I need to be absolutely retired this year? If there's no need, then probably, yeah, why not you just hold on your retirement for another 3, 4 years before you start your retirement living. Then the second question is, if you still feel that you want to retire this year, you have the resources, you have the means, even though it may still be um, affected somewhat, then the question you ask yourself is, am I prepared to change the retirement lifestyle that I'm actually planning for? You can plan that, okay, when I retire, I would like to go for a tour every 6 months. I would like to go for fine dining every month. So with this happening and you still retired today, do you need to adjust this instead of fine dining every month? Now you change it to fine dining every 3 months or tour every 2 years, things like that to see so to see, then you ask yourself these two questions to see which one will actually suit you better. So to me, if you are ready, then there's really no harm retiring, because I feel that my definition of retirement is not that you this day you stop work, you say okay I retire, you stop working completely. From my definition of retirement is, you are ready to retire when you have the resources, when you have the means and the choice to choose whether you want to stop work.
Right.
It is not about you have to work. Now you have a choice of whether you want to work. So when you are there at the point that you have the means, I have the resources, now is my choice to want to work and not having to work because I need to work. Then yeah, I think if you're ready, then yeah, you should and enjoy your retirement now.
Right, right. So it's a lot about your current financial situation, yeah, making adjustment, and whether you're prepared to even change the retirement lifestyle that you have planned for. I think all
Yeah.
these will make a difference on what is the next step. And like what you say, retirement is sometimes not just about the amount of money that you have; it's about the mindset. And
Yes.
yeah, if you're going to carry on working but very unhappy, then you should also rethink about it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
So, yep.
come across people who retire because they want to pursue something that they've been very passionate about. So
Mm,
they get enough, they retire from their official work and carry on pursuing their passion. I know of someone who left his banking job and retired from his banking job and pursue his counseling work at the prison. And I think you know who I'm talking about.
right. Yes. 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 And he has found so much meaning in his
Yes.
post-retirement work.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you, Patrick. There are no further questions, so let me go back to sharing a couple of slides more before we end the session for today. If you'd like to connect with Patrick, please take a photo of this slide. He has offered her his email, his LinkedIn profile, his website, and also his mobile number. So I believe if you scan the QR code, it would link to the mobile number as well. So that's how you can get in touch with Patrick after tonight. Okay. Next one, let's look at it. Okay. So for some of you who know, Patrick is also the inventor and the producer of the game called Affluent. It is a card game centered around retirement planning. He's offering our viewers a 90 minutes complimentary game session of this game, and there's a chance to win a set home as well. So if you're keen, please put yes in the comment box, and then we'll be able to contact you separately for a game. Of course, it's not just a game, it has many live lessons on the topic of retirement planning as well.
Yes.
So another slide, if you're interested in Patrick's book or any of the book published by Candid Creation Publishing, now is the time to also take out your camera and to scan this QR code, which will send you to our online bookstore. Yeah, hope you can support our local authors. Last but not the least, before we end, please help us to leave a feedback in the comment box. Things that we can improve on, things that gone well, and also help me to continue to share this video, so that your friends can watch the replay, and all your likes are always welcome. Okay, so finally, before we end, I just want to ask Patrick, any last words, parting words for our viewers this evening?
Yeah, that is when we plan for retirement, we are actually retiring our life, bring our life to another level, because in our life there are basically three hood we have. We have childhood, we have adulthood, and the last one is retirehood. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it's about retiring. All right, thank you. So thank you very much to Patrick, who is the author for this book, A to Z Guide to Financial Planning. Thank you for investing your evening with us, sharing your insights and perspective with our viewers. Thank you very much. And to all our viewers, thank you for joining us in this episode number 9 of Hello, I'm an Author, Ask Me Anything. All right. Next week, we'll be into episode 10, which is the concluding episode for season 1. Okay. So I won't let you know who is the invited author yet. So please stay tuned on Candid Creation Facebook page as we unveil who will be the final author to be on the show. Hello, I'm an author. Ask me anything. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us, and stay safe and try to stay at home if you can. Thank you very much. Good night.
Everyone, good night.